This as a jacket, absolutely. Oh, hey. Didn't see you there. What's up? I'm just chilling in my cozy little blanket that I'm about to turn into a two-piece set. Happy Nkaepril to all those who celebrate, and happy Nkaepril Day 5. For Nkaepril Day 5, I am making my birthday outfit. And yes, you heard correctly, I'm taking this blanket and turning it into a two-piece set. If you want to learn how to do this, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and keep watching the full video. So we're starting off with this pattern that I printed out from Mood Fabrics. If you're looking for free patterns, remember that Mood Fabric has free patterns. So what we have to do first is assemble it so that all the pieces go together, because of course I had to print it out on this like an 11 by 8 page. So you need to assemble it. So what I like to do, I like to overlap the corners like this. So this is separate. And then I like to overlap the corners so that the lines match up. Like this. You're gonna do this for all the pieces of paper, and then you're just going to tape it like this. So here is my pattern. This pattern, it was fairly easy. You see the numbers right here, 17, 18. You line them up and it's 5 across. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You go to the next row, and then there's also a picture on the pattern, like on the website, that it shows you that you can also follow to make sure it looks right. Now we have to cut it out and choose our size. So if you look right here, it tells you the different sizes. I'm thinking 12/14 will fit, but I'm gonna go 2 sizes up because 1, I want it to be a little bigger, and 2, I feel like if it's small, you can't do anything about it. If it's bigger, you can always shorten it. So I'm gonna go with the 20/22. So in order to figure out how to cut it out, you need to look at the lines. Each line is different. This one is a long dash, medium dash, long dash, medium dash. You see this one is like all similar dashes. 16, 18 has long dash, too small, long dash, too small. So then you would go to the actual pattern. This is the sleeve right here, and then you would find the lines that correlate with the size you want, if that makes sense. So since I want to do 2022, I'm gonna look for this line that looks like this, and it is this one. So I'm gonna go get a marker, and I'm gonna trace all along this line just so I know where to cut before I cut it. After I cut out all the pattern pieces, I realized that I wanted this jacket to be cropped. So I'm making a minor alteration to the pattern and just taking off this bottom piece. And then I'm going to do that to the other panels and make sure they're the same length. Now it's time to cut out our fabric pieces. I'm placing the sleeve pattern on top of the fabric and cutting around it. The pattern already has seam allowance, so I'm not cutting extra. I decided to cut the back panel on a fold because I wanted it all in one piece instead of 2 separate pieces that I had to sew together. So that's what you see me doing here, showing you that it's on a fold. So now that we're done cutting out all of the pieces on this fur fabric, we're gonna start really getting into it, okay? So here's the back panel. Like I said, I cut this piece on a fold. The pattern said to cut 2, but I cut it on a fold because I wanted it all in one like this. So this is our back panel, and this is the fabric that I'm going to be using as the lining. This is like soft, stretchy white fabric. I think it's perfect for the lining. I do have this black silk, but I want it to be lighter. So now I'm going to cut out all the pieces with this lining. So let's do that. Who needs fabric weights when you have a ring light, a brush, and some lotion? Like, I can just use that. I don't really need to buy fabric weight. So now that you cut out your lining, what you want to do is you want to put the right sides together. This is the top, like the front part of the jacket that I'm about to use. So these are both the right sides. I put them together and I'm going to sew along here. But I'm going to leave this part open and I'll tell you why in a second. Let's just sew everything else except for this part. I decided that I wanted to make this a puffer jacket, so I'm gonna sew lines across on this front panel. Here's an example. I already did this side, and we're just gonna mimic that on the other side. I want to make sure it's symmetrical and the lines are equal on both sides, so I'm placing them next to each other and putting pins on where I need to sew the straight lines so that it is symmetrical. Now that the lines are sewed across on your fabric, we need to start stuffing it to give it that puffy effect. So I'm going in with this polyfill that I bought from Michael's. It's like $2, and just stuffing it, but not stuffing it too much because I don't want it to be too puffy. Just a little bit to give it, you know, that little puffy jacket effect. After you're done stuffing each panel, you want to pin along the sides and sew it so that it is closed. Now you want to do that same exact process to the sleeve. So I sew down the bottom and the top and left the sides open before I sew the straight lines across. That's going to be used for our panels for stuffing. And then I just started stuffing the sleeves as well, making sure not to do it too much because these are the sleeves, like, we don't want to look like the Michelin Man. What's crazy is that out of all the things I've ever made and sewn, I've never made sleeves before. And it's not as hard as I thought, which is good, I guess. Anyway, so now you want to take your sleeves and fold it in half, put the right sides together and sew along this line. And that is how your sleeve is going to come together. So, here are all of our pieces. So far we have the two fronts, the one back, and then we have this sleeve and the other sleeve. And it looks so good, doesn't it? Like, it looks better than I thought it would so far. But now we have to sew it all together. So let's go. First, we're going to sew the front and the back together, inside out, of course. And sew here, and also sew up at the top here. Adding the sleeves is probably going to be the trickiest part, but it wasn't too difficult. So you're going to take your sleeve and stuff it inside of the armhole. Make sure the right sides are together and line up the seams, and pin it down and sew it. It's going to be a little tricky just because it is bulky because of the stuffing, but it shouldn't be too hard. Just make sure you're going slow and make sure all the seams are lined up. You do not have to turn your sleeve inside out. Just stuff it inside the armhole. The vest part, the outside part, is inside out. See, now I'm showing you how it's supposed to look. Make sure it looks like this, and then sew. After you've sewn all the top pieces together, now it's time to make the skirt. I had just enough fabric left to make a skirt. You could use a skirt that you already have that you like the fit of and trace that to make this pattern for the skirt, but I kind of just eyeballed it because I knew what I wanted it to look like. And then once you have the shape for your skirt, just sew along the sides and you're good.
Next time on Royal Nkaepril.
You gotta remember that the workout isn't always gonna look pretty.